Hey guys, I totally know Paul Rudd. He'll be in our movie without even any questions. Check this out. Hello, Paul Rudd. Yes, this is Tony Obert. Yeah, that's how we refer to each other. In our first and last names, because that's what friends do. Paul Rudd. I was wondering if you could do a favor for me. Yeah, you remember the time that I helped you and your family, the Rudds. Do you remember that time I took you to Fuddruckers, Paul Rudd? How about the time I helped you during your son's bat mitzvah, Paul Rudd? Remember that time we went to the grocery store together and I helped you get a good deal on that ham slab, Paul Rudd? Remember that time that I saved your son from that duck, Paul Rudd? Do you remember that one time you were having beef with Mark Ruffalo, Paul Rudd? I also know Mark Ruffalo. He's a cool dude. Mark Rudd. Remember that time I repaired your air conditioning unit, Paul Rudd? Would you like to be in our movie, Paul Rudd? I wasn't asking, Paul Rudd. Yeah, it's a great movie, Paul Rudd. It's about ants. Something you're very familiar with, Paul Rudd. Would you like to meet for a drink sometime, Paul Rudd, and we can hash this out? You seem like the kind of man who enjoys a Bloody Mary. When's your son's birthday again, Paul Rudd? I want to buy him a star. Remember that time in college when we just got really stoned and stared at that lava lamp for 10 hours, Paul Rudd? You told me about your dream of being a movie star. Any of this ringing a bell, Rudd Polstilskin? How was it on the set of The Avengers with Mark Ruffalo? Remember that time you did a Nintendo commercial back in the 90s? I do. It'd be a shame if other people did as well.
It's serious. The games of someone else creates these. It's serious. The games of someone else creates these. The games of someone else creates these. It's serious. Someone else creates the games of someone else creates the games someone else creates it's serious. Someone else create the games of it's serious. It's serious. It's serious. It's serious. It's serious.
Remember that time you were passed up on the opportunity to be in the movie The Hangover 2 with Zach Galifianakis, Paul Rudd? Remember that time that we built a robot in my garage, and then you patted my shoulder and said, "That's a nice Ruddbot." I always hated you for that. Dearly, dearly hated you, Paul Rudd. Did you know that you're my best friend, Paul Rudd? That's right. My best friend. I still have the Ruddbot. Ruddbot, come here! Remember that time you and I played basketball and we both single-handedly beat the 1996 Olympic women's basketball team at basketball, Paul Rudd? Who could forget that one time that we went on a safari and you saw a gazelle getting eaten by a cheetah? I had to hold you for 2 hours as you were crying, Paul Rudd. Remember that time you and I invented a time machine in my backyard and we visited Abraham Lincoln? Do you remember that, Paul Rudd? Because I don't. Time travel is weird. And who can forget that time I helped train your dog? He was peeing on the floor every single day. I helped you with that, Ruddy Oxenfree. Remember that time you and I stayed up all night playing Dungeons & Dragons? Rudlock the Powerful. Remember that time on the set of Sisters, when you were very nervous about your first appearance? I held your hand and I told you, "Everything will be okay, Paul Rudd. You're a great actor. You're a good friend of mine. A best friend." You know, Paul Rudd, I'm very worried about the influence that Seth Rogen has on you. He seems like he might not be the most savory character, unlike you, Paul Rudd, who is savory. It was good talking to you again, Paul Rudd. I really hope that we can chat again sometime soon. I know you're worried about people thinking you're too nice, Paul Rudd, but don't worry. I think you're doing fine. Toodaloo! Oh yeah, this is Tony, by the way. Okay, bye.